Okay, let us start the class. In today's class, we shall try to understand what is constructor in Python. Constructor in Python. Okay. First of all, suppose print function. This is a print function in Python to display the output on the screen. Welcome. Okay, so print function used to display this data, string type of data on the screen. So let us execute now. Okay, this is the welcome. So suppose if this print statement executed by main thread, okay, suppose if it is under a function def, always function will be started with def keyword. Okay, def name show. Okay, function name, then after braces, brackets, sorry, they are not braces, they are the brackets. So after the function define, we need to terminate with the colon. Okay, now this statement must be under def function. So we need to give a tab. Once we press tab, 4 spaces will be given. So this is called indentation, margin. This much of margin, 4 spaces margin we have given. If we will not give the indentation, then it will give the error. See, it is the indentation error. See, indentation error. Huh? So because this statement, print statement, this is part of this show function. So we need to give some word space. So simply press tab, 4 spaces. Now compile this. So you will get the, so it is finished. No any output is here. So then what? How to call this function? So this function can be called either by the class name or object name. But this function, it is not part of any class. It is simply a function. So if it is part of a class, then we can call this function as a class name, otherwise object name. But it is simply function. So I will call this, simply I will call this with the name of this function. Simply show brackets. Okay. Now compile this one. Now you have gotten the result. Welcome. So now it is a function. Def is a function now. Function means it is a user defined function. It is a user defined function. User defined function. Okay. Suppose this function, user defined function, now it is part of a class. So if it is a class, is the class with the class name. The class will be created in Python with the class name. So give a name, any name. Okay, any name you can give. So after class name, we need to terminate with the colon. Okay, class name must be terminated with the colon, function must be terminated with the colon. Now this function, it is part of this class. So now we can't call this as a function. Now it becomes what? Method. User defined method. Okay. So now I hope that all of you understood what is the difference between function and method. Method means this function, whenever it is declared under a class, now that function becomes a method. Okay, so now it becomes user defined method. User defined method means I have declared So now you need to give the margin, one tab means, okay. Otherwise if you will not give the margin, because this function, it is part of a class, okay. So if we will not give the margin, so interpreter understood that this function is separate, okay, it is not part of this class. So if we want to keep this function method under class, you need to give space. See, it gives indentation error. It gives indentation error. Where? Line 3. Where is line 3? Line 3 is here. Okay. But it needs to show line 5. Okay. I am giving the, that is what, one tab. Now this print state, it is the part of this function, this method, show method. So we need to give a space here. Now this print statement becomes the part of this method. Now how can I call this method? Either by creating an object or by simply class name. So now I want to call this as a class name. Class name means what? Class name is name dot show. Okay. Now you have gotten the output. Welcome. So this method now called static method. Why static method? Static method means suppose if I call any method with the class name without creating an object, that is called static method. So I want to create an object for this method, okay, show method. Object is what? Simply I told you that any object name you can keep, xyz, okay. Suppose obj is object name is equal for name class. This is the syntax. So name, this is the class name, but this parenthesis, I told you that once after any name, if we kept this parenthesis bracket, that becomes a method or function. Here it is under a class, so it is a method. It is which method? It is a special method called constructor method. This is called a constructor method. This constructor method, whenever some variable, instance variables are there, instance variable. So instance variable means, suppose x is equal to 5, this is called class variable. Okay. This is the class variable. So instance variable is what? So I told you that this is the constructor method, na? So now I am going to create a constructor. Constructor def keyword double underscore init again double underscore bracket. Okay, this is the constructor. Okay, this is the constructor. So this is called actually double underscore method, because two underscore. So double underscore method, it is a special method. Somewhere you can get it a function. So this method, what it does, it will update the instance variables. What is instance variable? Suppose in this bracket after self, x is here,